The confidence, though, of a generation in financial markets has also been shaken. And that's really awful because the 20-some-year-olds to 40-year-olds who are so engaged in crypto, they've got to save for their retirement. And if they don't believe or trust in financial markets, this is a huge problem. They need to own stocks. They need to own corporate debt. They need to partake in our global capital markets. Now, with FTX, there are a few points here that we should talk about. The turf war by American regulators has got to end. It's just preposterous that, without naming the agencies, they all dance around who owns what, and the bottom line is American investors have really gotten hurt here.
This effing guy really has the nerve to talk about people not disclosing certain information about positions, fraud, and everything else. What a joke. We're not going to elaborate on that too much here in this video, but I do want to talk about and go over the Ortex data briefly with you guys. A certain option expiration that I will be watching very closely coming into trading on Wednesday, as well as I do want to go over the 2 new announcements in an updated article from this whole missile hitting Poland thing. This is something I think is important that could move the markets in a big way and obviously affect AMC in a big way. So I think it's key to stay up to date with what's being said about that at the very least. And you also did get Trump announcing his presidential campaign for 2024, which also has big implications for the markets and is sending the pre-market up as we currently speak, guys. So let's dive straight into all this key information. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already. Now let's get straight into it. First things first, we're going to look at the Ortex data, give you guys the latest numbers that we are getting as of right now. And it looks like the live short interest of free float sitting at 20.38%, very, very high, but coming down about 0.2% over the last 3 trading days. Keep in mind, we have rallied excess of 50% in 3 trading days. So if the short interest really only went down 0.2%, that is very exciting. And as we reported in the last video to you guys, there is no longer shares to be lent out, and that is why the cost to borrow rates continue to head higher, and likely tomorrow will head higher as well. Cost to borrow max at 358.57%, the cost to borrow average at 293.5%, and the cost to borrow minimum sitting at about 16%. Like I said, there's really no shares available to be sold short. 6,000, 10,000, 9,000, relatively speaking, you're not really seeing any shares that can be sold short in a reasonable amount here. And the last cost to borrow numbers that we got, which was a live reading, was at 45%. So very encouraging data that we are seeing right there. And the option activity for the day was about 16% positive order value. A lot of calls that started to come through, but some pretty decent put orders as well that did offset this positive order value. Overall, 25 orders totaling $3.24 million. And the big expiration that I want to watch coming into tomorrow is going to be the $8 strike. And you want to see AMC really get above $8.40 per share tomorrow, which I don't think is going to be too much of a challenge. But really, once you get above $8.40, you're going to see a lot of hedging in a very short amount of time, because like you seen Tuesday trading, you had 15,000 for volume, you have 30,000 for open interest. Those options will have to be hedged for at around $8.40 per share, if not under that level, because the premiums were a lot cheaper last week for these options, considering the stock has rallied about $3, almost 50% over the last 3 trading days. So you're really going to see a lot of hedging and a lot of buying activity up until that $8 strike. Once you get above $8, that's where things can get pretty explosive, in my personal opinion. $8.50 strike has about 15,000 for open interest, and the $9 strike has about 14,000 for open interest. And then at the $10 strike, you got about 21,500 for open interest. So some very exciting numbers here heading into the end of the week, and also just a lot of option activity as well. The volume on these options are much higher than you will see looking at any other stock. You're not going to see these kind of volumes, these numbers on any other stock, right? You're going to have to look at something that is super popular like a Tesla or an Apple to get numbers that are equivalent to what you are seeing on AMC. So the attention, the community, the interest in AMC is still there, and I think it is setting us up for an end of the week gamma squeeze, or nonetheless just a gamma squeeze coming over the next couple of days in general. Now, that is it for the information on AMC. If you guys did not watch the last video, you have retail sales coming out in the morning as well at 9:30 a.m. and that is going to probably be the big thing people are talking about tomorrow, besides the 2 bits of news that we are going to talk about right now. And first things first, you are seeing that Donald Trump announces his 2024 presidential campaign in a bid to seize early momentum. Now, this is not politics here, but the futures market did rally about 0.3% off of this news back to the upside. We are still negative in pre-market here, but it's getting back up there because people want Republicans to win the office. So if you get the market starting to expect, hey, maybe 2024 Republicans will win, maybe there will be less spending, that is going to be seen as a positive thing for the stock market, and that's where we just are in this current market environment. Now, what we have on the missile strike, this is very interesting. So Biden says it's, quote, unlikely the missile that hit Poland was fired from Russia. Early Wednesday morning, Polish officials said a Russian-made missile landed on its soil, killing 2 people. Biden said it is unlikely that the missile was fired from Russia, but the United States and allies unanimously agreed to support the country's investigation. Quote, I'm going to make sure we figure out exactly what happened, Biden said. And they're basically saying the trajectory of the missile, it would be unlikely that it came from Russia, but this did come last night, when Russia did fire about 100 missiles into Ukraine, which was the most, essentially, that they have fired at one time into Ukraine. And to see a missile go rogue is definitely not too uncommon, especially when you're dealing with Russia with very outdated technologies. A lot of their missiles are not even precision-guided missiles. To see a statement like this, I don't know who or why this is being said, but I don't know where else it would really come from. Nonetheless, the markets are going to like that, and that is why you are still continuing to see a little bit of a, higher uptick here in pre-market as well right now. Any sign of de-escalatory nature over with the Ukraine-Polish situation is going to be bullish. Republicans taking office, we'll see what happens with the last couple Senate seats that still need to be announced. That will also be a bullish thing. And that's really that. That's really what we have up until we get the next CPI report. It's going to be a lot of geopolitical, tensions and how people react to that, as well as politics. And on the front of AMC, guys, I'm very excited with what I am seeing, and I just want to point out that $8 strike is going to be pivotal coming into tomorrow, because you're heading into Wednesday tomorrow. You're going to be midweek here. If we can continue on that bullish rally, we're probably likely to continue out on a very strong note, because after all, you have about 51,000 calls that are in the money currently for this Friday and about 186,000 calls that are out of the money. You could see a lot of those options head into the money by the end of this week if this gamma squeeze does continue to form. So that is going to be all for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in that comment section, baby. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you in the next one.